Upgrade time. IQR 800 is going to get a new set of boots, or a new boot, because it's only got one boot, there's not two. This is the CAMSO BackCountry X2 track, got a 2-inch lug, 286 pitch, and it's a true 2-inch lug on it. We measured it, that's what we do. 15 inches wide, 129 inches long, weighs about 43 pounds. Nice and light, softer compound than your racing track. This one's pretty chewed up, you'll see after we get it off. It's not pretty, it doesn't like stumps, doesn't like rocks, and there's a limited lifetime on those racetracks. They just don't take a whole lot of abuse. Well, they do for a short period of time, and then it's time to pitch them. So we're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna put this on. We're gonna show you how to do it. Here's what we do. It's a bit of a dirty job. We gotta pull the chain case off and pull the jack shaft out and pull the suspension out and do all that stuff. But I'm gonna show you how I do it. I have Simon giving me a hand here today, and we have our other friend, this right here, the hoist, the engine hoist. It's just easier to lift up the back of the sled. You know, if you're at your, in your garage or outside under a tree or someplace where you can hang the back of the sled from with a strap or whatever, that's what you should do. It's just too hard to change a track if you can't lift up the back end of the sled. So we're gonna get her done. We're not gonna time it because we just don't do that kind of thing. But we're gonna get this put on and it's gonna be sweet. Lots of traction with this new baby, 2 inches. 2 inches of awesomeness. This has about 1 3/4 inch lug on it right now, and it's a lot of fun. I can't wait to see it with this softer lugged track. Gonna be good in that soft powdery snow. Let's do it. Hopefully that compressor's not making too much noise, but you know what? We need a compressor. All I've done is I just use this hoist here just to take a bit of pressure off the back of the track. I don't have it all the way jacked up. It's not like that. And we're just going to remove the suspension bolts, and Simon is loosening up the rear tensioners for the wheels. That's it, easy peasy. There. So you've loosened those wheels right off?
Yeah, I think I need to loosen it more because it's not.
Hold on, watch your feet, watch yourself. Well, that's pretty good.
That's no good.
You can just lift, what's on here?
There you go.
Okay. Just want to crank that up a little bit more. Should come out pretty easy. Go figure, you got to take the suspension out to change the track. There you go. Now's also a good time to take a good look at your suspension and make sure that everything is still in good order. Your straps aren't broken, your shocks are in good shape, you're not missing anything, nothing's bent. There we go. Now the fun part starts. You gotta get in here, you gotta take your chain case apart, you gotta drop your shaft out of there. It's not that bad, it's a little dirty. I just broke Keely's spring puller, so I'm gonna have to use these here. There's a little thing on there. There's one. Yeah, you're gonna have to remove your exhaust. In the stock IQRs, there's a big suitcase right here. You gotta get rid of that too. We don't have that. We have the Jaws can because it sounds so good. And he made us a special exhaust just for us. These chain cases are pretty funny. I had to replace the backing of this case when I first got it. And when I went to screw these bolts in, the holes weren't threaded. I'm like, what's going on here, right? But it's that type of metal. You just thread those in. They're kind of like a self-tapping. Thread them in, and it's done. Easy. Now it's gonna be a little messy. Gotta get your oil out of here. There it goes. Can you grab me a rag there, please, Simon? It gives you a chance to get in and look at what's going on inside your chain case, making sure everything's all right. Not running into any issues. No filings in there. Everything in here is looking pretty darn good. Just looks like used oil. Used chain case oil. There. Jamie said, you don't have to take the whole chain case out. Just leave it in. Just take the bottom off, the bottom sprocket. So let's see if that'll work. Let's see if we can actually do that. Can you hold the brake, please? I think I got it. Oh, I do have it. That track grabbed. So we're gonna see if what Jamie says will actually work. He has said things in the past that do work. And I always pass the credit on to him. Because I'm like that. That chain over that gear. Big old ratchet. Now, you know I'm not a mechanic. You guys could probably tell. Grab that brake there, please. And you guys can probably, that was loose. You guys can probably tell because of the work I do. But I seem to get it done. It seems to happen. We've got to pull this secondary off because we have to get in at the retaining bolts drive shaft. There we go. Don't lose our shims. I'll leave them right there. There. Now, let's see if what Jamie says is completely crazy or not. Let me see. I can pull. Yeah, I can pull it out enough this way. So pull the track up. So go into his side, Jamie. We're gonna push the track up over the hump, over the extroverts. Okay. Now we're just gonna push the track up, hold it back, pull this up here. There we go. See if I can pull it enough here to do that. Oh, Jamie. Jamie nailed it. Atta boy, buddy. That's good. How are these looking? They look good. Sweet. Pull that track out of there. Let's take a look at that track. Let's look at it.
Well, that's a good example right there.
That's a good example of what happens. You know, that starts to happen. Then they start to delaminate and these lugs come off and then this is gonna bust right here. But look at that. Right there. There. This track is not so good. Not so good anymore. Out with the old, in with the new, they say. And this is new, and it's going to be a beauty. So this is the direction. Of course, what we didn't do was lay this out on the ground for a week to take all that nastiness out of it. We should have done that. And it's better, you know, it's kind of cold in here. It's better in a warm environment at home. In your living room. Your wife will love you. Your mom will love you. Stretch that out there for me, Simon. Please just take that little bit of a kink out of that corner there. But sometimes we don't have that ability. This just sort of happened quickly. So yeah, we'll take how'd that cooler look? Any
I don't see any marks on it.
Okay.
I looked at it a bit.
Okay, good. It's a good time to check out your cooler, see if the studs hit them. What was that? Oh, the tensioner?
Tensioner.
Okay, so here. So straighten that bearing out for me. It's on a little. There you go. So you're gonna have to fish it in your side. Yeah. There you go. And
oh, one sec. I gotta straighten it up.
There you go. Is that it? There.
Bam.
Bam. And get her into those extroverts. That's it.
Let's go.
Good to go.
There's no reverse on this.
Oh, we need to put reverse on this. I'm getting too old for non-reverse sleds. All right, it's time to get this suspension back in so we can take this thing out for a rip. Got some new shocks in there. Sort of lubed up our suspension. Everything's ready to go that way. I mean, we were in there, might as well do it, right? This track's gonna be tight. So pull the bottom out. There you go. Hold on. Pull the bottom back a little bit more. Just grab onto a lug down here. There you go. There you go. Just watch it. Bring this thing. It was kind of like the reverse, obviously. What we did. It's gonna have to come way back, eh?
When you pull it, I get it. Hold on.
Go again? Is that what you're saying?
1 sec. Hold it right there. I'm in.
Is it through the bushing?
Yeah.
Okay. Do my side. Oh, my side's just about there. I'm in. Gotta make sure you torque these up right. I went for a ride once and came back, parked it. We're getting ready to go on a big ride. And Jamie calls me up. I was just out for a walk looking for my sunglasses because I dropped them. And I found some bolts. They look like they're out of your IQR. Oops. The funny thing is, I'd never had them out. When I got the sled, they were just loose. I find it's easier to put this rear mount in if you just pop the spring out. Here. Is it off?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me pull that.
Hold on.
There. Can you get the other one out? Okay. That's good. Tell me when.
They're way too far back. That's good. That's good.
Okay. Use some Loctite on those, okay? Hold on. Boy, did I ever nail that. Nailed it. After you've done all this, you want to come back in here and make sure that everything is still snugged up the way it's supposed to be. Go in and check all your nuts and bolts. When I was on the clutch side over there, I noticed that the torque stop had loosened off, and we were having issues at the end of the season with our belt. I'm like, why isn't that belt gripping? And that's the reason why. So you got to make sure everything's nice and tight so you have a good time out there riding. I got to thank you guys for watching, of course. I'm going to go and have some fun with this. I'm going to button everything else up. I got to thank CAMSO for sending us this track to try out. I'm going to let you guys know exactly what I think of it. It's what I do, and pray for more snow. It is coming. I know it is. Seems a little tight, eh? It'll loosen up. All right.